The sky glows with fire. Cannons roar without rest. Smoke drifts so thick across the fields that soldiers cough and choke with every breath. It is October of 1781, and in the small Virginia town of Yorktown, the British Army is trapped. Hungry, tired, and surrounded, thousands of men know the end is near. But not yet. Not tonight. The thunder of war still shakes the earth, and the fate of a nation hangs in the balance. How did the mighty British Empire, the strongest power on earth, come to this desperate moment? How did an army of farmers, blacksmiths, and shopkeepers corner them on a muddy patch of land at the edge of the world? To find out, we have to go back. 5 years earlier, in 1776, the American colonies had declared independence. It was bold. It was reckless. Imagine a teenager slamming the door in their parents' face and shouting, "I don't need you anymore." That was America. Britain, like a strict parent, refused to let go. For years, the war dragged on, seesawing back and forth. Sometimes the rebels won small victories, sometimes the British crushed them. But neither side gave up. By 1781, both armies were exhausted, bleeding, and desperate for an end. British General Lord Cornwallis believed he had the advantage. He moved his army to Yorktown, Virginia, where he thought he could rest, regroup, and wait for supplies and reinforcements to sail in from the sea. Yorktown was supposed to be his fortress, his safe harbor. But what he didn't know was that George Washington and his French allies had crafted a trap that would snap shut around him. Washington knew he couldn't beat the British head-on in New York, where their navy was strongest. So he turned to trickery. He spread rumors that he was preparing to attack New York City. British spies swallowed the bait, and their commanders shifted focus northward. Meanwhile, Washington and the French General Rochambeau quietly led thousands of soldiers on a long march south, hundreds of miles down dusty roads toward Virginia. The trap was closing. At the same time, a crucial piece of the puzzle fell into place. The French Navy, under Admiral de Grasse, sailed into the Chesapeake Bay. They fought off the British fleet and sealed the waters. The sea, once Cornwallis's escape route, was locked tight. Imagine sitting in your house, expecting a delivery of food and medicine, and then finding every road and every door blocked. That was Yorktown. By late September of 1781, the siege began. American and French soldiers dug long trenches, zigzagging across the fields, inching closer every day. These trenches were like underground highways, protecting men as they crept forward. Each night, the sound of shovels mixed with the distant thump of cannon fire. Soldiers pushed wheelbarrows of dirt, wiped sweat from their brows, and prayed they would survive another dawn. Day after day, the cannons pounded Yorktown. The British defenses shook, splintered, and fell apart. One soldier wrote that the ground trembled constantly, as if the earth itself was under attack. Another described the night sky lit up like a thunderstorm, except the lightning came from fire and iron. Inside the British camp, men starved. Wounded soldiers cried for help, and Cornwallis realized his so-called safe harbor was becoming a coffin. Then came the night of October 14th, 1781. Washington gave the order to storm two British forts called Redoubts 9 and 10. A redoubt was a defensive fort made of dirt and wood, like a giant sandcastle armed with cannons. They were the last barriers protecting Yorktown. If they fell, the British were finished. In the darkness, French soldiers charged one side, while Americans charged the other. Among them was a young officer named Alexander Hamilton. Yes, the same Hamilton who would later help write the Constitution, shape America's finances, and eventually end up on the $10 bill. Muskets were unloaded to keep silence. Bayonets gleamed in the moonlight. Soldiers climbed over walls, fought hand to hand, and within less than half an hour, both redoubts were captured. The British defenses crumbled. For Cornwallis, the truth was now undeniable. His army was trapped by land, blocked by sea, and broken inside. No reinforcements would come. No miracle would save them. On October 19, 1781, he made the decision he had tried to avoid. He surrendered. More than 7,000 British soldiers laid down their arms. Drums beat a slow march as they filed out of Yorktown. Washington stood and watched as the once mighty army bowed in defeat. The Battle of Yorktown was not just another victory. It was the victory. After this, Britain realized the war was too costly to continue. 2 years later, in 1783, the Treaty of Paris was signed. The United States of America was recognized as free and independent. Think about that for a moment. The most powerful empire in the world had been defeated by a ragtag band of colonists, and by their determination, their allies, and their refusal to quit. It's the classic underdog story, the kind we love in sports, in movies, in life. Yorktown reminds us that even when the odds are impossible, even when the enemy seems unbeatable, strategy, courage, and unity can turn the tide. So the next time fireworks explode on the 4th of July, remember this night in 1781, when smoke and fire filled the skies above Yorktown. It was here that the dream of America stopped being just a dream and became a nation.